Hi guys, welcome back to the Last Set podcast. I know it's been a bit of a delay since the last one, but here we are, and I'm back with my brother Igor. How you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing, Joe? I'm amazing. How are you?
Yeah, it's great. I was actually checking on my phone just before we came here, and it was almost a year ago to this day. It was this month since the last time we actually had the last conversation. And then it was so strange because I actually was going back through my notes, and then I actually remember, holy shit, we actually did cover a lot. But now it's good. It feels different in a way.
100%.
Because a lot's happened for you since since that year, in the space of a year. Yeah. And now you're telling me you're moving into a new house and all that.
Yes. I'm moving to a new place as well with boys from the JIT. So yeah, it's been good so far. Let's see how we're going to be together, you know. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I got a quick question for you. What do you like to live with then? Are you one of those neat freaks? Like if you see like a little bit of mess and you're going to be choking them out in their sleep?
Yeah, they know what it is. Yeah. I'm always like very tiny, you know, like I like everything organized and stuff. I think it's because the army that I'm like that, you know. Like maybe in the past I wasn't like that, but after the army, I was like, okay, I wake up in the morning, I need to have my bed like made. I need to make my bed. Otherwise, looks like I don't start my day, you know?
Well, that's good. That's a very good thing to have. I mean, what is it? Do you know Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
He talks about like, make sure your room is in perfect order before you go and criticize the world.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure as well, when you said you were in the French Foreign Legion last time.
Yes.
Like, the first thing they teach you is literally how to make your bed properly.
Yes, actually you do normal at French Foreign Legion, but when you are like in the army in Brazil, they were very, very precise in every single movement, you know, because where I went was artillery and aircraft, and they are like very, very precise in everything that they're going to do, you know. If there's one thing that is like that, I have to push the side and it should be always straight, perfect, you know. So even the bed, you know.
How old were you when you joined, if you just recall?
18.
18.
Yes.
And you're how old now?
Now 25.
Shit.
25.
You're only a year older than me. Oh my god.
Yeah, 25.
I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
Because you're incredibly mature for your age. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so you must get that a lot. And
you have to, you know, like. Yeah, I think the army like changed my life a lot, like the way I think, you know, and of course jiu-jitsu. When I started jiu-jitsu, like everything changed, you know.
Well, it's very it's very regimented. I mean, you have to be incredibly disciplined. Yeah. It's not a sporadic thing. It's not a spontaneous thing. And I think that's really why a lot of people. I think there's a lot of similarities between the army and jiu-jitsu.
A lot.
And how old do you say you were when you got out of the army?
I was 20 when I was come back from France.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what made you want to leave again?
I injured my knee. So I had to leave. Yeah.
Was it like a
ligament,
ACL?
Ligament, yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
How did I have to leave?
You didn't get shot, did you?
Training, no. I imagine that.
Sniper, get down. No.
Well, I would be, you know, like if I kept going into French Foreign Legion, I go to. I could go, you know, like I wanted to like do more special missions in there, you know, that would bring me to Africa, Afghanistan and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, unfortunately, you know, I see this as a little step that I had, and then I had to regret a little bit, you know. I had to move back and then realize that, okay, so I failed in this dream and I can't do this anymore. So I have to do another thing, you know. So you can think in two ways. One, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be at home crying. Oh my God, what are you going to do? Or second one, you're going to be like, okay, no matter what happened, I'm going to keep going and, you know. Yeah. And that's what I exactly did. So.
Well, I remember you telling me your whole family's still back over there.
Yes, they're all in Brazil.
And is that still the case and all that, or have you managed to get them over to Australia?
Not yet. Yeah. But I hope in the future, I wanna bring them here, especially my sister because she's 12 years old. So I wanna bring her here for sure. Yeah, maybe when she turns 18, Yeah.
Nice. I was gonna say because your English is like perfect.
Oh no, it's getting better.
Yeah. Well, remember last time there was a couple of things I had to like make clear of.
What are you saying?
Well, it's important because well, what is it when it comes to podcasts, right? You want to make sure you can get the most information out of your guests as possible. You want them to be as open and as comfortable with you as possible. But like having that language barrier as well.
Oh, it's hard. It's very, very hard, man. Yeah. Sometimes I was talking with the boys as well about this. It's because even if I don't understand one word, but if you understand like what all the phrase, like what you're saying or what you want to say, you understand that word in the middle. But for me to say that word is very, very hard. Like how I gonna say. I normally explain that word with another words. If you understand what I mean.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have different. Well, here's the other thing as well. I think it's also important, and I actually just learned this recently. Like to just learn like a little bit of Portuguese as well as when you dabble into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Especially when you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I tell everyone, you guys must learn Jiu-Jitsu. You have to learn Portuguese. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I didn't even know this, but till last year, is like the way you guys pronounce your H's and your R's.
R is very different.
Very different, yeah. So there's a certain move we have that's pronounced De La Riva.
Yes.
But it's spelt like De La Riva.
De La Riva. Yeah.
What's up with that?
Why are you saying like this? Because you like that.
Well, why is that like the H's and R's? Is there anything else that gets mixed up like that?
I'm going to say one thing that my English teacher used to say for us.
Okay.
Because Portuguese. It's the same thing. Why you pronounce H like that? Because English, it is like that.
Was it ever like that in class then for you? Like when you're teaching jiu-jitsu, or why do you like Portuguese?
Not now. In the past, yeah. In the past was like, oh my God. The word like doesn't come to my head right now. And then I have to like keep talking because you cannot like, I don't know. You cannot look to your students like, I don't know what I'm saying. You know, you have to just keep talking, you know, even if you say wrong, but you have to keep talking.
Fair enough. Yeah. So how long have you been learning English for now?
Since I'm here.
Oh, so you've only been doing this for 3.5
years.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
What do you find the hardest thing about speaking English and all that? Is it slang?
Nah, that's the easiest. That's the easiest one. Yeah, of course.
Second, just get Teddy Echo on. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing in English, it's after you actually learn how to talk. It's exactly what I said before. Like you put a little word in the middle of a phrase, you know. Because when you learn a new word, it's very hard for you to keep. I know how to use that word, you know. So I always try to keep pushing myself to, okay, if I learn a new word or I write or even put on my phone or I repeat like many times and understand like what's that word mean, because I wanted to keep like trying to add more words in my vocabulary, you know. So, but that's hard. That's hard. Yeah. Sometimes you just forget, you know. It's like in jiu-jitsu, sometimes you forget the position, you know.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
You're like teaching the position, you look to your coach like, what are we doing? I forgot. Like 1 minute before, after teach the position. So it's very easy to forget. Yeah.
Now, for those who are trying to catch up onto everything that we've been talking about, man, you've been teaching. So you've been practicing jiu-jitsu for how long now?
10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
So, oh wow, so you've done the full decade.
Yes. Wow. That was amazing. Actually, in January, I completed 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, training. Oh. That's amazing. Long journey.
Yeah.
Long journey.
And you started when you were 15.
Yes.
And then you I remember last time, if you can just recall, you still practiced whilst you were in the French Foreign Legion and all that. And you remember you used to tell me that it was a little bit difficult because of the regiment and it wasn't
very,
respected.
Very hard, actually. Yeah. It's not even like respected. It's like more because when you are in a basic period in training, you have to keep, you know, you are there for train for the army. You're not there to train jiu-jitsu. So, yeah. But it's like it was for a short time, you know.
Yeah. And then you came out here and I remember you established yourself when you met, I forget, apologies, what's the gentleman who runs Bravos?
Rodrigo.
Of course,
Rodrigo Girardes.
Lovely. Yeah. And you've been coaching there for how long now?
Me?
Yeah.
I've been coaching there for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So for someone has as much experience as you have, and you got into a point now where you've been coaching for 3 years, what do you feel like is the most significant thing that makes the difference between someone who practices and someone who teaches?
Oh, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, because I think when you start coaching, say I'm gonna coach, I'm gonna teach classes. It's very easy, It's very easy to say that, and very easy like you go there and teach a position, But for how long can you do that? That's the hardest part, How long can you? Because it's now, of course, now it's my job. Like I understand that, and I love that. I think when you don't have that passion, like of teaching, like I let go everything just to teach, So because that's what I love, and I think that's a big difference, because especially like here, a lot of coaches they think that they are coaches, but they are just students that they are there to teach positions, And being a coach sometimes not just teach positions, like. When I do like private classes with my students, sometimes they want to really like have a good time. They want to learn a little bit more, but sometimes they start talking about their lives as well. And can you be able to understand what he's saying, and you pass your knowledge, like even from jiu-jitsu for his life, I think is the best thing that I have. And I think in 10 years, I have this experience to say like you have to keep going no matter what, because in jiu-jitsu is the same thing. Let's say you are in a competition, and you're going to have the guy that beat you up in the first time, right? And then the next comp, you're going to see the name over there as well. His name is going to be the comp, and you're going to be like, Jesus, I maybe won't go to compete. I was like, if you tell me this, right? So if a student come to me and say that, I'm going to tell him like, that's where you're going to go. You want to go there, If you want to be the best, you're going to be the best, But you have to fight against him. But it's very personal, this, Like you have the guy that you have like a little target. But I think as a coach, I have to tell them that they need to prove not for me. They need to prove not for their friends or for their family. They need to prove for themselves that they can do this. And I think you have this time. Okay, I'm going to be at the gym. I'm going to train hard, but it's not for anyone else. It's actually for me, So that's the most important thing. And being a coach for 3 years and training jiu-jitsu for 10 years now, like I'm able to explain that for them like give their best, like not just on the mats, in life as well, That's what's good.
Yeah. So what point did you realize, okay, what's actually we have to take away from that is we always say, things like do what you love, and very few people actually get to make a career out of what they love. But when you go into it, you got to make sure your reasons for it are strong. And what I mean for that, for an example, is in my profession as a PT.
Yeah.
A lot of people get into the world of personal training because they just love working out.
Yeah.
And they just love it, and they think, oh, I'm just doing a lot. And then that's where they make their first mistake. So I see that a lot as well with jiu-jitsu coaching. Like you could be a really, really good practitioner. You could be an incredible athlete.
Yeah.
But you can also be it doesn't guarantee you're going to be a great coach.
No. That's very, very different. It's very different. Yeah.
And it's the same with my job. Just because you look good, doesn't mean you're actually
doesn't
going
mean
to be
you
a
can
good
teach.
coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think the first thing you have to learn is that you are not your students.
Yeah. And that's very, very hard to develop.
Was that something you learned along the way? Or?
Yes, 100%. I've been in seminars already in jiu-jitsu that they're like world champion guys, but they don't know how to teach. That's why when you're gonna do a seminar, the best guys to bring to your gym, it's a coach. Because they're gonna be passing the knowledge for your students. Of course, an athlete is easier and better. Like you're gonna see the athlete, you want to see that world champion guy, like what he. But I mean, I really like to pass this knowledge this knowledge for them. You know, it's good. What was the question again? I forgot. I just missed it out. I was gonna say it.
Skip through that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask you a better question though, because I
Yeah.
think I got a little bit lost in there. What advice would you give to someone who wants to get into coaching?
First thing, it's learn with your coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I've learned a lot with my coach in Brazil, the way he teaches and the way he used to speak with me, you know. And now, of course, I'm learning with Rodrigo, that is like my mentor now. Like, and I think you still have to be like open mind to keep learning, you know. Even with the lower belts, you're gonna keep learning, you know, with them as well. When you coach, we actually coach for 4 divisions in jiu-jitsu, you know. The first division is kids, second one is teenager, third one it's adults and masters.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot coach them the same way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say if I push one of my kids the way I push the adults, they're gonna quit.
Yeah,
They're gonna quit.
Say that,
you know. Maybe for the teenagers, yeah. But like, let's say when you're gonna teach your kids, you cannot push them too hard. You need to play games because they want to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't play games, they're gonna come to you and they, coach, I want to play the game.
Yeah.
You know, when you're gonna teach the teenagers, you can push a little bit harder because the teenager is the age that you're gonna be there, or because your dad put you there, or because you really want it, or sometimes they're gonna realize how important it is jiu-jitsu and they're gonna keep training. That's what happened with me, you know. Of course, my parents didn't want me to train jiu-jitsu, but I was like, no, I want to do this, I'm gonna do that, you know.
Do you ever just like call them up and you just be like, hey, do you remember that time when you said don't do jiu-jitsu?
No,
What's my life
I don't
now?
do this to them. I don't do this to them because I know how important and like the way that they were seeing myself, like in the past, you know, like they just wanted me to have a normal future. You know, I don't want a normal future. So that's why I kept training jiu-jitsu. That's why I keep always pushing myself, you know. So, and then when I was a teenager, and then I became an adult, I was like, I realized how important jiu-jitsu is to my life, you know. And that's the transition that's always like to pass for my teenagers, that I'm going to keep pushing them like all the time. I don't release the pressure on them because that's the age that or you're going to learn how to live, or you're going to be always like shy. You're going to be always like, I don't want to do this. You're going to be always running to your parents, you know, and you cannot do that. Like if you're going to go outside and you're going to be working, what's going to happen? Your boss is going to be yelling at you, or is going to be telling you to do things, and you cannot say like, I'm not going to do it. And it's the same thing for me. Like I need to show them that that this thing is going to happen in life as well, you know. So I always try to pass this for them. And then the adults as well. Adults is the age that they like to compete more. They like to have more goals, but also they like to have a good time.
They
you know?
Yeah.
So
We forget how much you know. There's not too much difference between coaching kids and coaching adults, because as an adult we kind of forget to have fun sometimes. It feels like a crime.
Depend a lot because you like to compete, right?
Yeah.
You like to compete.
Yeah.
People sometimes they don't like to compete. They're very good in jiu-jitsu. They don't like to compete. They don't like to be there, you know, at the competition.
Yeah.
But it is because like just the way they are, like they don't like to keep pushing themselves like to the limit through the competition, you know, and that's totally fine with that, you know. As a coach, I always like tell my students to compete, you know, but it's not for show for me, for show to Rodrigo or any of the coaches, or it's just to prove to yourself that you can do it, you know, because I know how important it is. Like I did like many competitions already, and I know how important it is. And if I don't have a competition to compete, I'm going to be like, okay, what are you going to be doing now? I have to keep pushing myself to the limit every time, you know.
I like how you have that mindset. You always got to be working towards something.
100%.
And I feel like You know who Jocko Willink is, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He's always talking about, finding your next mission.
100%.
And that, but it's kind of, sometimes I just felt sometimes you just feel like you got to monitor it, because if you're always just trying to find that next mission, then you kind of get lost in the process of it. You know what I mean?
That's actually funny.
Sword, really.
No, it is actually funny because I think you need to have that goal, like always, like where you want to be, and then try to look forward for that. Because if you don't have that goal, like you're gonna be always lost, So I don't mean like little goals all the time, But I mean now for my view, I really really want to get. Of course, in the future, I want to have my gym. I want to have a good gym, like have that. But if I don't plan this, I know that I'm not gonna have it. So how am I gonna plan that? I'm gonna, of course, I need to study business. I need to study coaching. That's what I'm gonna get into as well, because I'm gonna start studying sports coaching. And then I need to improve my coaching. I need to improve my English. Like everything you're gonna be improving, like slowly, and enjoying the process as well. I think is one of the most important thing, and that I learned with time. I learned to have this time with myself, and okay, I'm gonna do this, but I have to enjoy it, because when I get there, what I'm gonna be doing,
Do you have a name for the place? Do you have a name
for what?
For your gym? Like, do you know?
No.
I was gonna say,
of course, for sure, gonna open my gym in the future under Rodrigo, under Bravos. Yeah.
So you're gonna maybe keep it like a B, like Bravos 2.0 or Bravos Junior.
Yeah. 2.0. Oh, it's a good name.
Fair enough. Now, there's actually one really important thing I really wanted to one of the reasons I wanted to get back in here is because you're one of the few people I know who's always competing and all that.
Yeah.
And someone was actually telling me about this, that they told me a story. They knew a guy who he competed quite regularly, like really regularly, and then he felt like he got to a point where he felt fatigued because of it, and he kind of felt like he wasn't actually enjoying the sport, but he was more obsessed with just winning.
Obsessed for winning.
Yeah. How do you like keep yourself focused on just actually, your passion for the sport rather than let it be subsided for your obsession for winning?
Yeah. I think
that sounds like a bit complex.
Yes, like a good example is Marcos Buchecha, right? Buchecha,
of course.
And he was a guy that he won 13 world title. Why he's going to MMA? More challenge. More challenge. You need people like that. They like to compete. They need to have more challenge. But I think if you're still doing the same thing for the whole time without a purpose, you're gonna be lost. And you can't be doing like this guy. If you're gonna be competing just here, let's say just in Perth, right? You're gonna be just competing here. You win everything, right? If you don't have the next level, if you don't have, let's say you're gonna change belt, that's gonna be harder. What is gonna be good? And then you're gonna have the guy that's gonna beat you up. Okay, so your next competition, you're gonna go there, you're gonna train harder to beat him up, So I think in the lower belts it's easier to do that, but when you become a higher belt, you're always on top. You're gonna be like, what is gonna be my next level? Where do I want to be? Like what I want to do now? And I think you having time for yourself to think about that is the best thing ever, because if I think that I'm lost, I sit down and then I'm like, okay, what am I doing? So every Sunday now, it's like a fun fact about me now. Every Sunday, I go to the hills by myself.
Wow.
Yes, and I stay there for like almost 3 hours.
3 hours?
Every Sunday.
Wow.
But why is that? Because I want to plan my week. I plan my week, like what I'm going to do, what I'm going to be doing, what's going to be my little goal for this week, where I want to be. Because when you talk to people, right, when you're going to be talking to them, you're going to be talking always about other things. You're not going to be talking 24/7 about yourself, you know? They're going to tell you like, you are selfish. Hey, you are so selfish. You just talk about you, bro. And then normally all the time you are just with people, right? Like you are at home, you have a girlfriend, you're going to go to jiu-jitsu, you have people in there, so you're going to be talking, but it's not about yourself. So when you actually have that time to think about you, you know, when you actually have that time to, okay, so this week you're going to be doing this, that, but we're going to I plan everything, you know, and that's was one of the most important things for me. And that's why now I really decided this year, you know, starting to do MMA. I've started my classes already.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
how you finding it?
Hmm?
How you finding it?
It's amazing. It's challenging. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it is so good because like here, I can be that guy, that brown belts that never compete, right? I coach, you know, I love my job. But I need always to have that competition for me.
Yeah.
You know, I need to have a challenge for me. If I don't have a challenge, I feel that I'm just living, you know, like just whatever. I don't want to live whatever. I want to like now more challenge. So that's why I'm going to be like, I'm going to do MMA, and I'm really looking forward for that, you know.
And what gym are you associated with for MMA? Are you training out of Bravos still for
Bravos,
MMA?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
do you train with Julian Justiniano? Because I know he's away.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Like we are always in two opposite ways. So
Mm.
when I'm teaching, when I'm in the north, he's in the south. When I'm in the south, I'm in the north. So it's very hard. So you actually have to plan better, like my schedule, because soon I'm gonna start study sports coaching. So I'm gonna be changing my timetable as well. So it's gonna be like very, very hard, you know. But I still want to do it. I like whatever.
So just in roughly off the bat, how many training sessions do you do per week combined, jiu-jitsu and MMA?
I'm trying to get for now one session. You know, that's what I can do right now. It's not much. I know it's not. I don't want to keep training more, but my coaching for now, it's a little bit more important. You know, I have to pay my bills.
Yeah, don't we all?
Yeah,
That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why I wasn't always able to put out, you know, these episodes and all that. As much as I love it,
yes,
you know,
exactly.
I do make a tiny bit off it.
Yeah,
but it's not enough to live off, you know. So, but however, when you are using the money that you have to fund the things that you love, that's when you know you sort of feel like you're on the right track. You're pushing for it and all that.
I think for myself, it's when I actually push myself, you know, like to keep, it's actually very, very hard.
Yeah.
It's actually very, very hard to find. A lot of people, like even older than me, they find hard like to understand, what is my dream? You know, what do I like to do? Like what I love to do, what I want to do in life, you know? But I think I'm super grateful for that. Like I thank everyone around me as well for everything that they are doing for me. You know, like everyone wants to see me growing. That's a big thing for me. Like why I'm not gonna be teaching anymore if in jiu-jitsu and on the mats, like every time people are happy. You know, people always happy in jiu-jitsu. It's very hard to see like someone like sad or like crying or doing that, you know. So everyone that is training, we have always a good environment, you know, especially in our gym, like we have always a good environment.
I think it's generally because people aren't thinking. That's what
Exactly.
I always believe.
You just think about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You don't think about life.
You don't think about your bills.
No.
You don't think about your
can't.
girlfriend's mad at you
And you
because
can't.
I don't know, you left the stove on again.
Yeah.
You don't think
You
about
can't,
like
though.
rent's due at the end of the week. You just,
Yeah.
I feel like also that's where it's becoming more important for general public just to do and as hobbyists.
Yeah.
Because if you think
especially
about
for mental health as well.
Correct.
Yes.
Because if you think about how many times are you thinking about how many conscious decisions do you make a day, and what you're thinking about throughout the day, like you're like, okay, well, I'm going for breakfast, okay, take this route to work, I gotta do this, I gotta think about work, and by then your mind's just fried. It's being in that state, you know, like flow state where you're actually not thinking, you're acting off impulse, you're acting off
yeah. I say you press the automatic button.
The what?
The automatic button.
Oh yes.
But yeah. You just leave, you know. You don't know where you are going. So for me personally, I can't live like that. I can't like leave and then like what I'm doing, whatever, go the other way, you know.
You were never designed for a 9-to-5 job, were you?
No.
As soon as you said that,
I have to keep. And man, it's like it's so good being teaching. Like being teaching, it's amazing. You know, it's just like for me, it's grateful, and I love when people they are. Let's say he has that goal. My student has the goal to go to the competition, and I teach them. Of course, we have like hard training at Bravo, so we teach them, and the good explanation is like for a brand new white belt. He's gonna come to the gym. You're gonna remember that face. Like sometimes you see that guy is not gonna be good, but sometimes they stay. You know, can happen, and they stay, and then like let's say in 1 year they're gonna be competing, and you're gonna look to that guy and it's like, Jesus, he just started like yesterday and now he's competing and he's winning, you know. Like how grateful is that for, how good is that for a coach, you know, and see his student like doing the technique that he showed, you know, like seeing the gold medal and see that the other person it is actually happy for, and the person as well is like being grateful for you, like he's gonna thank you for what you did, you know. Like sometimes you don't know what people are passing. Sometimes they are passing for like breaking up, you know, with their girlfriends, or they're gonna move country, they're gonna come here, you know, like mental health is shit, and they can change their lives just in jiu-jitsu, you know. And that's what I really, really, really love about jiu-jitsu, you know, in seeing the other person like that, they are very, very happy to be there, you know.
I just feel like it's the crushing of the ego. That's the main thing. That's
Yes.
Like, I mean, what's a more subtle way you can put it? Like, I think it's generally we have this image of ourselves, and that we try so hard to uphold. And it's mainly our generation as well, because you know, how often do you see like kids, adults our age, living through their fucking phones and everything, and they just want to look good. People generally, we don't like to do things that make us feel uncomfortable, because it changes the way that we view ourselves. I'll give an example. Let's say, for example, there's someone out there, you know, they've got a friend who, you know, who's a bad influence, and they don't want to see them anymore. But they don't want to tell them they don't want to see that friend anymore, because it's going to change the way they view themselves as a loyal friend. It's the same way as like going to jiu-jitsu. Like, people don't like to dabble into it because they're scared, you know, they're going to get beaten up or something like that. So it's going to change the way they view themselves. Like, oh, I'm not as strong as I thought I was. I'm not as athletic as I think I am. And then that's the main thing. And that's why when you have this breaking down the ego, you feel a whole lot more comfortable in yourself, and it's a lot less fake.
100%.
Like, let me ask you this. When have you ever met a black belt that wasn't deserving of his black belt?
All the time, man.
Really?
All the time.
Really? I thought you were going to say
he's not actually deserved, okay? Because if your coach gave you the black belt, that means you're a black belt, right? But you're going to hold that bomb, you know? You got to hold it. You got to hold it.
I thought you were going to say never. Nah, they all fade up with their skills. Like, shit. Shut that down.
It can happen, you know? But if your coach say that you are able to be a black belt, just take it, you know? Take it, hold the bomb. If you don't feel that you are a black belt, you're going to train for that. No matter what. Let's say you are blue belt right now.
Yes.
You're going to get a purple, right? coach, I don't feel that I'm purple.
I literally just got my blue belt.
No, let's say in the future, right? Let's say 2 years.
Yeah.
Your coach is going to say, I'm going to move you to purple belt, right? Coach, I don't feel that I'm purple belt. One way, you're going to get that purple belt. You're going to feel like, that you are not. Or you can work hard for that. That's better work hard. That's my point of view. Like, I'm going to work hard. I know that I'm going to be a black belt, right? And what's going to happen? If I don't feel like a black belt, what's going to happen? I'm going to be scared. I'm going to be scared for the brown belts, They're going to catch me, and I'm scared about everyone. But it's like, I'm going to train hard, but not to show to anyone else that I'm a black belt. I want to show to myself that I can do that, I want to show to myself that, like, I'm really on a level. And if you don't feel on a level, work hard for that, keep working.
I feel that also heavily stems in when you get your blue belt as well. I had that attitude where before I got my blue belt, because I've been training for over 2.5 years. I think it was exactly 2 years and 8 months when I got the blue belt. And then I thought to myself, I was actually a little bit upset that I got it in a way, because leading up to the grading, I was only doing like 1 or 2 sessions a week. And I feel like getting it, I think what you're trying to say is getting it is one thing, but honoring it is another thing.
Yeah. But look, you need to do what you have to do in the conditions that you have. Yeah. If your conditions able you just to train once a week, and you're seeing that you are doing everything, okay, I want to train more, but I really can't. I really cannot do anymore. Like, that's what I got to do. We went like one session. One session is better than 0, So that's what I always try to say as well. Like, some people, they come to jiu-jitsu and I say, I want to push them hard, right? I say, I have a job too. They say for me, like, I have a job. I know, like, you want to push hard and everything, competing. I can't compete because that. Excuses. Excuses.
Thank you. Let me tell you something actually as well. When it comes to situations and problems, this is the best piece of advice someone ever gave me, and this is how I rethink the world. Everything you ever go through in your life, because there are billions and billions of people in this world, there is nothing that you will go through in this life that hasn't been done or gone through a million times before. Girlfriend breaks up with you. Happens every day. Lose all your money. Happens every day. Fucking, I don't know, break a leg. I understand. Everyone's got a job. Everyone's got, it's just, someone just said to me, so because it happens so much, it's just your turn to go through it.
Yes.
So that's so... and I've seen that on my job. Like, someone say, oh, I work like 8 hours a day. Well, I know somebody who works 12 hours a day and still finds time to work out, really. I think you're right. It is definitely excuses.
It is definitely excuses, because I have my job too. What is my job? I'm a coach. I'm not an athlete, I'm not. I feel that, of course, I'm a competitor because I've been competing for so long, But my actual job is being a coach. It's not a competitor. And when I think about that, it's like, I can give the excuse. I can give like, I'm a coach. I can't compete. I'm spending my time coaching, like teaching you guys. I can't compete. But like, and that's where become the ego as well. You need to have a little bit of ego, But like, I'm really like that. I'm teaching, How am I going to teach my students if I cannot prove to them that my techniques are working? It's not just rolling with them. I cannot just roll with my students like, that's good. Now, if I say that, let's say, if you don't have amount of competitions, you can't teach your students how to be a competitor because you never pass for that. And I'm still 25 years old, right? Like, why I will not compete? Like, I'm healthy. Like, I have conditions to train hard. I have conditions to keep going. Like, why I will not compete? Why I will not show to my students, like, how we have to do, Like, sometimes in my classes, when I really put my name in the competition, they're going to be seeing me always in the zone, I don't want to talk. I want to train, and I'm going to be training hard. But because I put my name in there, and I wanted them to see like how they have to do, because just talk, it's easy. You know, it's very easy you say for your student, like, you have to do this, you have to do that, you know, to push them, vai, you know, vai in Portuguese. Let's go, bora. You can't
just
say
set up
that.
your own,
No, you can't. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, like, and if you, so yeah, that's what I really like it. You know, it's like it's being coached as well, and have the opportunity to keep competing, like to show it to my students. Okay, guys, so we have to do this, and that's how we're gonna do it. You know, but sometimes, let's say I'm pushing them too hard, and then I see that they are not 100% over there. Stop pushing. Like if you are not there, if you're not in the class, I'm not gonna keep pushing you too hard. But if you put a name at the competition, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. Your name is at the comp. You're gonna train hard. I had a bad day. I don't care. You're gonna train hard. You put a name there, you know. But I don't do this because like I want to be rude on them. I want to keep pushing them because I know how important it is. Let's say at the competition, right? Have you competed already, and you saw that like this is not my day?
I've had plenty of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I've had plenty
Exactly.
Of those,
And sometimes it's not different at the gym. You're going to be at the gym. Today is not my day. And you're going to just do shit class. But that's the mission of a coach, you know. If I push yourself, if I keep pushing you to keep going, you're going to be like, when you step into the gym, you're like, it's not my day. But my coach moved me to that part where, okay, I have to keep going. No matter what, I have to keep going, you know. So that's what I really love it, like about my job. Because I can guide them to do this, you know, and I have like a plenty of experience already to say that it works, you know, it works. Because with me, it was not different. When it was just a student, was not different. I was like, my coaching was always pushing me hard. Sometimes I was in the day, and they're like, oi, no matter how you're feeling, you can feel like they're the comp too. Let's go, bora. And that's what I love to hear that. Yeah. I love to hear someone in my ear like, you gotta make it. You gotta do this, you know? That's for you. Let's go. Push yourself harder until your limit. I love that.
Well, it's good because we talk a lot about competing on this episode. So there's actually, and you talk about pushing people to competing. What advice would you give to someone on the day of competing? I remember you put up a really good post about this. Like, what would you do? What would be some good advice you would give to someone who's about to walk into their first competition? What advice would you give them to before they step on the mats?
It's not just like the first ones, for all of them.
Okay.
Like, you need to be in peace with yourself. You know, because when you actually shake your opponent's hand, bro, it's just you against you. It's how much you are ready, you know, how much you are like ready, how much you prepare yourself for that. And if you did all your hard work during the months, you know, to compete at that competition, you're going to be like, I'm ready, you know. But now, if you fail that day that you didn't want to go to watch Netflix and eating popcorn, you know, you're going to look back and it's like, ooh, that day, bro, you know, I should be training, but I was at home watching Netflix, you know. But the day of the comp, let's say you prepared yourself, like you are ready. I like to do meditation before, you know, because I really want to know like how I can control myself, you know. If I cannot control myself with a meditation, I cannot control myself at the comp, you know. So I'm going to meditate. I'm going to put my headphones, you know, at the competition. You can see me at the comp. It's like, so I'm very, like at the competition, sometimes I'm going to be on the zone with my headphones. Boom, don't talk to me. If I look at you, give a smile, or I'm going to be happy, it's because I'm happy to be there. You know, you need to be happy. Okay, so I'm going to compete. Yeah, that's it. Let's go. But yeah, I have actually two sides when I'm going to compete. That is like, but I don't like to talk too much at the comp. You know, after I compete, done. All right, that's it. Thank God, the best. You know, but before the comp, I'm like, I get it ready, bro. I'm getting ready. You know, no matter who is in the other side, I know that my mentality is gonna beat you win. I'm gonna beat that guy up. You know.
I remember last time we saw you at that competition. You had that special tea. Is that part of your
Oh
routine
yeah,
now?
the mate, yeah. And the chimarrão. That's a special drink from South Brazil.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, last time I saw him, he had this like almost like Harry Potter style goblet on him. And then I was just saying, there was just all these like things around the top, and you were calm, you were just sipping it, and you were like, yeah, have some. I was like, is this gonna make my hair go blonde as well?
Yeah.
How long has it been like that for now?
The hair?
Yeah.
1 month and a bit more. Yeah.
So is this one of those? Yeah, it's not a phase, mum. It's my life situation.
It's my life, man. You know. Yeah. I actually did that because I always really want to do it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
You know,
enough.
like people are gonna tell you like, don't do this, don't do that. I was like, I want to do it. I will do it.
Yeah.
Like no matter what you're saying, you know, if you feel that is right, you know.
Anyway, bringing it back to competitions real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good scenario for you, all right? So what do you tell your student, right, if they're in competition, you know, it's their first competition or that, they come off, they lose their first match, they're panicking. Or what do you tell them?
Yes. A good one. Explanation was what happened on the last competition with one of my students, blue belt too, and it was a big bracket, you know, round robin, like boom, hard. I know that was hard for him, and mentally he wasn't there on the first fight. Like he was like, oh my god, he tapped like in 1 minute, you know. And when you are coaching, you should be able to see if your student it is there or not, you know. And I know my students, I know each student, like how I need to treat them. Some of them I need to push hard, some of them I'm not gonna push too hard because, you know, it's just different. But this guy, he was like a special one, and a good example to tell you that he lost his first match. He went out of the match and he was just like with his head like shaking side to side, and I almost slapped his face.
Oh
yeah. I promise you, I almost slapped his face.
Yeah.
It's like you can say, oh, it's rude. Oh, you look it from outside me, you're gonna be like, this guy's rude. I know what he's thinking because I've been in that situation too, where I wanted to have someone like screaming on my ear, like, what the hell you doing? You know, you are the competition now. Now is the time to do your 100%, 110%, you know? And that's exactly what he wanted to hear, you know? So I went to him and said, bro, you are the comp. You going to wake up or not? You know? And then he was like, shocking because I never told that for him. And then he was like, Jesus, oh, that's true. You know, I'm competing. So you need to keep pushing your students to keep growing, you know, and especially the competition. You lost the first one. Doesn't matter. It's round robin. Fight for the rules. The rules can give you more fights. So you're going to fight for that, you know, no matter what. Like, let's say you lose the first fight, you have the next one. Doesn't matter what happened the first one, you know. So I told this thing to him. I was like, it's the next one. Next one is yours. So you can do this. Like, prove to yourself that you can do this, you know? And then he was like, I told him, put your headphones, get in the zone. Get in the zone. It's you, bro. It's you. It's your turn. It's your time to go there and beat the guy up, you know? And he did it. You know, he did it. He just put his headphones. I saw that he was like getting, I'm going to kill the next guy. I'm going to kill the next guy, you know? And that's what you have to do. You know, like you have to keep pushing your student, but then sometimes you're going to be pushing so hard that your student don't want to be there anymore. He's going to be like, whatever. If your student is like that, bro, tell him another time, but not at the competition, you know. But if that's the first fight, normally you can change this.
Yeah.
Normally you can make your student believe in himself that he can do that, you know.
Fair enough. And I know it's a strange thing to ask this as well, but like, you don't really get it in you don't really get it in most academies, but no one really seems to like teach you the mental side to it.
No,
it's when you're in class, it's all physicality, it's all drilling, it's all, it's all rolling, it's all physical.
Yeah,
there's never really much mental side to it, really, or anything like that.
I love to in my classes, like even if it's 1 minute, but every day I teach them something like mental, like how they have to train, how even yesterday was very funny in the class because they were like, I told them, you have only 2 minutes, you're going to do this position from full guard, right? 2 minutes, very little, short time, okay? And they started to do the position, but they were talking, And then you spend 1 minute talking, right? And you don't do the actual position. When you're going to do the position, you're going to be doing wrong, I stopped the class. I was like, guys, if you don't enjoy this time to train yourself, you're not going to get better, And then it was like, they just realized, that's true. We are not drilling, So then as a coach, sometimes you have to stop the class. Like literally, you stop the class and you have to tell them. So, because if you don't tell them, you're going to have just students that they're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be, that's whatever, just train, So I like to keep always teaching them this mental part as well, because it's one, especially for the competition, is one of the most important things, one of the most important things. Like for me, the day of the comp is 70% mental.
It is
70%.
It is.
That 30% is if I work hard, is if I do that, if I eat healthy, and that's it, But mentally, if I am on my day, I know that I'm gonna win,
Self-fulfilling prophecy, really. Like, doesn't matter how good you are, if you still walk in with that intention that you feel like you're going to lose or you're going to fuck up or whatever, regardless of your skill level, you could even be like the top of the food chain at your belt, you still are more likely to actually have a bad day.
Yeah.
If you walk in there with the intent of, I want to win, I want to win, the body will find a way. It will give it like an extra boost. Like the mind will either suppress or depress the body whenever you think about it. So that's the last thing you gotta do, even if it's in a work. And I've had that in the past where
you have more.
Yeah,
you have like all the time. Sometimes you're gonna be with a submission, on you. You're gonna be inside triangle.
Yeah.
How strong you are to get out mentally.
Yeah,
you're gonna be
that's
like,
right.
I'm inside triangle.
Yeah.
You tap. You don't feel like I can escape. I will escape, no matter what. And that's how you should be training. When you train, you're gonna be training like that. If you wanna train for the competition, bro, it's gonna be hard for your partner to get 2 points on you, advantage on you. And that's how you train. The guy's getting a sweep. Don't accept. Don't accept. Why is that? The comp's gonna be the same. Your opponent's gonna be doing a sweep on you. If you accept, boom, he's gonna be in front. Your mind's gonna be like, shoo, going down. Because it's gonna be in front, and sometimes it's gonna be end up in mount. He end up in mount, and then what? You're gonna be on the bottom with like 6 points from a sweep and the points from mount. 6 points behind. How strong you are to get out of the mount. That happens a really good thing in the at nationals, when I fought nationals, because like I injured my rib like pretty bad in my first fight.
Wow.
Yeah, I still got a submission on the guy.
Oh, shit.
But all the other fights, the semi-final, I couldn't fight. The guy opened like 20 points on me. I looked to the time, like he was with a knee right on the same rib, like on the right side. He was with a knee right. And I was like, oh my God, what I gonna do from here? what are you gonna do? 30 seconds. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up. Like you, bro, I'm gonna do everything that I can. I push his leg into my mount, and then I got a foot lock from there.
Wow.
You know? And then I got a foot lock from there, like 30 seconds to finish the fight.
And you were down 20 points.
20 points.
20 points.
Imagine in my head, bro. Like, my head was like, I think I never lost for 20 points in my life. Yeah.
And do you feel like
In
if
the
you didn't have that
brown
mentality,
belt.
you probably wouldn't have found that foot lock?
No.
Okay.
No. Like, I was, okay, what is my last breath? You know? What's my, how do you say Hail Mary?
Wait, what?
How to marry? Yeah, like the escape, you know? The escape. And bro, and I was like, no, I'll get it. And then I got his foot. I broke his foot. But I think all those competitions in the past gave me this feeling, you know, and how I train as well to just keep going. You know, to like no matter what is happening, like you can keep going. You are inside triangle. You know how to escape, you know, but like how much you want to escape, or you just want to give up, or just stop, you know. Because sometimes your opponent is stronger. Can happen as well, you know.
True, man. I just want to say thank you, brother. That was
Thank
incredible. This unfortunately that's all
you.
the time we've got for today. But great to have you back in, man. This was so much better than the last time.
Oh yeah,
and
100%. That was amazing.
Yeah. So honestly, if you're always welcome back on here, man. Always.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
If anyone on my audience wants to follow you or they want to come train with you, how can they reach you?
So, of course, I train at Bravos BJJ.
North or south, though? Did you say
Both.
Both.
Yeah. So we have one gym in Joondalup and the other one in O'Connor as well. Okay. And then if you want to follow me, it's better on Instagram. I don't use Facebook too much.
Yeah.
So it's
No one uses Facebook anymore.
Yeah. You realize that? Anyway, it's Igor Martins, BJJ.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much, my brother. I appreciate
Thank
your
you
time.
so much, my man.
All good.
Thank
and
you.
that is gang, guys. Thank you very much for listening to the Last Set podcast. Enjoy the weekend.